right then, everybody. We're just going to let some people trickle in here for the next couple minutes. All right, and let's get started. So, today we're going to be talking about foreign filing your business into another state and how this is going to affect your fundability on your LLC. Okay, so if you'd watched our mini courses, you know that there's really a few main ways to actually expand the amount of funding that on a single business entity you can get. Some of those are going to be like having business partners, having multiple LLCs, even. And the third one was foreign filing your business into a new state to basically unlock the lenders from within that state. Okay, so imagine you're like playing a video game, right? And you're playing like Super Smash Bros. And you just beat a level and you just unlocked like a new character, right? That's kind of how I visualize this sometimes to make it fun. But basically, my business is based in California, one of my businesses. And so in California, I only have access to California based banks, and I'm pretty much restricted to that geographical location. So if I'm going to be expanding my reach in terms of funding and being able to actually apply at more banks that aren't in California, I would want a foreign file, right? And so let's just get started with a quick definition of foreign filing. And basically, all this means is that if an entity is doing business in a given state, it would need to notify the state that it's doing business there, right? And that's just a legal measure. Now, this action of filing your LLC to do business in another state that's not currently registered in is known as foreign filing, right? So you're going into a foreign location, filing your LLC, legally registering it with the Secretary of State in that location. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to get lent to by banks over there as well, because banks that do business in that state are going to be available to you because your business now provides services there or maybe even owns property. So this being said, why would you want to foreign file your business in another state, even aside from lending? A lot of you are going to be real estate investors. It's very common to have a holding company that holds a bunch of other LLCs, and each LLC owns its own property, right? So if you are a California resident like myself, but I'm looking to buy a property in Georgia, I might have my holding company here in California, but I would actually want my LLC to be registered in Georgia to legally own that property in the company's name. So I would foreign file my business from California to Georgia. And that's going to be a common thing that a lot of you here in this community are going to want to do. Another reason might be that you're opening an office in another state. It could be that you're providing a service or selling a product in a state that's outside of the state that your business is currently registered in. Or, as I said, perhaps you're looking at doing business in another state, and then that's going to enable you to tap into some of the banks in that state. So there's a lot of benefits to foreign filing. Obviously, here today, we're talking about business funding and the benefits of that. So that being said, let's kind of talk a little bit about how to actually foreign file your business, right? Now that you understand what that is, what are the actionables to go ahead and do that? Well, first thing you're going to need, and there's really three things that you're going to want to need, is that you need a registered agent in that state. Okay, so a registered agent is basically the company that's representing you. You could be your own registered agent, but you're going to need to have some sort of a business address in the state that you're foreign filing in. Okay, so for a registered agent, this can be really easy. Let's say you are in California and you're looking to foreign file in Georgia. You can simply type in Georgia registered agent on Google, or GA. You can do the abbreviation for the state, and literally it's just going to pop right up. Okay, and you're going to see a fee that's going to tell you how much a year it is. So I'll give you an example. For Florida, a registered agent is actually only going to cost you about $49 a year, and that's going to be true for most states. So I'll drop a little link in the comments kind of showing the Florida registered agent. And you can see there that it's literally only $49 a year to get a registered agent in Florida. Okay, so this is a really cheap process, But in terms of fundability, it's incredibly effective, right? And you can look up registered agent in California, you could do it in New York, you could do it in Texas, you could do it in literally any state, right? And usually the cost is going to range you anywhere from 35 to $49 a year, right? So a lot of you are going to be going to get virtual addresses because you've been following some guru on YouTube and you're building your Dun and Bradstreet and your Paydex score. Well, virtual addresses, those are going to cost you like $50 a month, right? We see a lot of people who are clients of our services who come to us with virtual addresses, and you don't got to be doing that. You could literally just get a registered agent in the state that you're looking at filing in, and you can make your business address the actual registered agent address. Okay, so what's important: don't make the business address a PO box. Don't do anything like that. Literally, you could just make it the registered agent address, or if you have a home in that state, a property of some sort, or an office, just make it the commercial or the residential address. Okay, and banks are going to like that a lot. So, registered agent, that's the first thing you're going to need. Second, you're going to need a certificate of good standing. Okay, so if you are a New Jersey business owner, when you first created your business, you would have been given a certificate of good standing from the Secretary of State that basically says this business is in good health, it's operational, and it's legally allowed to operate in New Jersey. Well, when you're foreign filing your, in this case, New Jersey entity to Texas, Texas Secretary of State is going to require proof that your business is legally allowed to operate in the state it's coming from, the state it's currently registered in. So you want to make sure that you have a recent copy of your certificate of good standing before you do the foreign filing. All right, now this is super important. Make sure that you have the certificate of good standing. It needs to be at least 90 days old. Now, if it's not 90 days old, go ahead and get in contact with your Secretary of State. You can just go online to, like California, it's ca.sos.gov, and you can literally just order a new certificate of good standing. It'll take like a week, and that's going to be within 90 days old. Anyway, looks like we got some viewers here. Sophia, how you doing? Hey guys, if you could drop where you're actually watching this from, the state and the city, that'd be awesome. I love when people are tuned into these live streams and I can kind of see who you guys are and where you're coming from. Drop that location down below. So, as I was saying, the third thing you're going to want to do is actually fill out the foreign registration paperwork in the state that you want to foreign file in. Okay, so step number one, you have your registered agent. You went and Googled that. You got the Florida registered agent, like I just dropped in the comments below, $49 a year. Done. You made sure that you had a certificate of good standing. Done. Now it's time to actually foreign file your company into a new state. And you're going to do that by actually going into the state secretary website. You're going to go ahead and just fill out the foreign file paperwork. So you could look up, for example, foreign file my business in Texas. You're going to see a website there pop up on Google. It should be one of the first ones. And you're going to want to make sure it says, in this example, Secretary of State or sos.gov. Okay, so don't go click on like some third-party company that's basically just offering you a service and they're going to foreign file for you completely. And if you want that, that's fine. I have a connection. But if you want to do it yourself, just make sure it says sos.gov and it says your state name, and then it should pull up with the paperwork. So just to kind of show you all an example here, I have the Florida foreign filing registration paperwork, and I'm going to drop this in the comments down below. Charles, good to see you here, man. How you doing? Jamaica, good to see you as well. Samuel from New Jersey, Cherry Hill. Thanks for showing up today. So each state is going to have its own foreign filing paperwork, okay? Now, I just dropped the one for Florida down below, and just so you know, the reason I'm doing Florida is because we love Florida, because there's a lot of really good banks in that state. Carolina's good as well. Maryland, a lot of good banks there. New Jersey, tons of good banks in New Jersey. I'll get into that too. But this is an example of the kind of paperwork you're going to want to fill out, right? See how it says .gov/media. Now this is a PDF download. All you need to do is fill out the paperwork the way it asks, put a copy of your certificate of good standing in that letter, and then literally on the paperwork, it's going to tell you exactly where to mail it. Okay. So you can simply mail the paperwork to the Secretary of State of the state that you're trying to foreign file in, and then basically they're going to see your certificate of good standing, they're going to see your registered agent address, and then they're going to go ahead and process it. And that's going to take maybe 1 to 2 weeks, but then your business, let's use the New Jersey example, will be successfully foreign filed in Florida. Now your business is legally able to do business in Florida, purchase properties there, provide services, sell products, and furthermore, you're now going to be eligible to actually tap into Florida state specific banks. Okay. So for myself here in California, I don't have access to Huntington Bank. I don't have access to Truist Bank. I don't have access to, honestly, quite a lot of banks that are out along the Eastern Coast. And so this is why we like a lot of the states like the Carolinas, like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania's good, Florida's really good as well, because there's a lot of banks out there. Banks like, for example, Truist, that'll lend up to $150,000. I'm sorry, $50,000. Correction, $50,000. No documentation. Okay. So there's also banks like KeyBank. KeyBank is really good. They do up to $50,000, no documentation. They're not in California. So if I wanted to tap into KeyBank and apply for a business line of credit, it might be in my best interest to actually foreign file my business in the state of Florida using the steps I've covered in this video, right? So that's what you'd want to do. Now, for those of you who think you can just go ahead and Google, registered agent, maybe you pay $50 a month or a year, and then you go ahead and Google the Secretary of State website for the state that you're looking to foreign file in. Great. It's not an overly complicated process. If you're having any trouble, or if you just are a busy business owner and you actually want a done for you service, whoever wants that, go ahead and just comment done for you on this live stream. There's a company that I've worked with plenty of times before. They do $100 service fee, but they'll actually do the whole foreign filing for you. And that's only going to take about 2 weeks. So it's a really easy process. But they're a great company, and they actually have registered agents that they can provide for you in literally all 50 states. They'll completely handle the foreign filing for you. It'll be super easy and hands off. But this way, we have someone here, Antonio, you're in Alabama, Samuel in New Jersey. You guys can foreign file into literally any state you want, and this company will do it for you, okay? But I also just taught you how to do it here. So let me know if you want that, and I'll drop that in the comments. Now, moving on, just want to talk a little bit about some of our favorite banks to foreign file in. Okay, so use this information to your advantage when you're applying for business credit. If you guys go ahead and YouTube, like, what are the best banks to get loans or business lines of credit at, and you find that you want to go to Fifth Third Bank or Huntington Bank, and that's not available in your state, you can literally just foreign file using the instructions in this video and tap into a state where those banks are, like, Ohio or wherever. And this way you can actually apply for that business line of credit, even though your LLC wasn't originally formed in that state, and you also don't have to file a new LLC. So some of the banks that Sophia and I think are the best to foreign file in, if you're looking for lending, are going to be Florida. They're going to be New York. New Jersey, Pennsylvania are great. A lot of those states along the Eastern Coast, and Texas as well. We really like Texas. There's some good banks there. Generally, either banks that are along the Eastern Coast or banks with, or states with like large economies where there's a lot of banks and a lot of diversity of banks are going to be the best. Okay, so again, Florida registered agent, $49 a year. California registered agent, $49 a year. Texas, only $35 a year. You can literally Google it and it'll pop right up, promise you. So it's really cheap to actually do this and incredibly effective on your funding journey. Now, got a little more sauce for you all here. So when you foreign file your business into another state, you might wonder, okay, well, how do I really know what banks are in that state that I don't have access to in the state that my business is currently registered in? and I'm going to share a little secret here with you. This is a tool. If you go into the guides section, we have mini course 5, and that goes over the bank branch locator resource. Okay. So whoever wants access to this tool, go ahead and just comment bankbranchlocator.com. I'm going to send you literally the link to the mini course I did teaching how to use it. It's only 5 minutes long. Really easy tool, but it's going to show you every single bank branch in all 50 states. It's incredibly kept up to date. There's over 4,800 banks there that are available to you to tap into. It's going to leave the phone number for the bank, the website, literally the bank location address, all of that. So what happens is, you foreign file into Florida, and now you don't know where to find the right banks that are going to lend to Florida, but not in your current state. Easy. Go on the bank branch locator, put in your registered agent address in Florida that you got, and then it's going to pull up all these banks within like a 50-mile radius or whatever parameters you put the locator on, and it's going to tell you all of the bank branches, right? It's going to say Horizon Bank, PNC, First Citizens, KeyBank, Truist, and now you know that you have all of these banks that you can tap into for business funding. So for a lot of you wondering how Sophia and I actually got so good at this game, it's because we stayed students of the game for many years now. We've gotten business funding for ourselves, we've done it for other people, and we use tools like the bank branch locator when we're building roadmaps for our funding clients. So I see we have some comments down below looking for that resource. I'm going to drop that for you right now. So check that out. So foreign file your business using the instructions I provided. Check out what banks are lending to that specific state. And you could even use the bank branch locator before you foreign file to make sure that the bank or the state that you want to foreign file in is going to be fruitful for banks. And use these tools in tandem, right? Start tapping into banks that you can't otherwise get into, banks that are generous for lending. And this is the secret of funding, okay? Is finding banks that are generous for lending, make sure that you have a good credit score, and make sure that you just know what you're doing, right? Like communicate with the banks, build those relationships, go form business checking accounts with some of these banks that are in the state that you foreign filed in, and then go apply for a large business line of credit of like 50K, right? And that's the secret right there, guys. So that's what I got for you today. No more getting virtual addresses, guys. Just go ahead and foreign file your business in another state if you need to. Get a registered agent for cheap, like $50 annually, and that's how the game is played, all right? So that being said, you all know the drill. If any of you feel like you're ready for funding, Sophia and I, for the next 30 days, are getting members of our Facebook community up to $150,000 in completely 0% interest business capital in literally just less than 30 days. So if that interests you, go ahead and just comment the word funding down below. I'll actually personally message you and we'll schedule a one-on-one call. It's going to be a consultation. We just want to talk, get to know each other, and make sure that your profile is going to be what the banks need them to be. And if it's not, we're going to help you meet them, okay? Best part, we charge literally nothing up front. So the funding is absolutely financially guaranteed when you work with us. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the other side, guys. But that's what I got for you here today. So have a great day, and thanks so much for tuning into today's live stream.